I would like to make note that the 2015 to 2017 internal audit is currently in process and moving forward. We have an entrance conference scheduled for next week with the executive director, deputy director, and myself with the internal audit department. We have a 2018, I have the 2018 original adopted budget scheduled for distribution at the February 22nd Port Board meeting. So you can look forward to receiving our updated 2018 budget. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Just for note, if you guys could, after every meeting, whether it's a financial report or a vessel security report that we'll get into, just maybe a documented recap of that.
Okay.
That way, if some board members are not present, we can distribute that out so they have a full update as well.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, Chairman.
Yes.
Can you also request a copy for the Secretary's files?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Ms. Aldridge.
Yes, Ms. Garrett, Mr. I can't think, Mr. Paul,
Yes.
is there any particular reason why we are moving away from, an update from Mr. Sanders that we were doing in the past?
Not necessarily. I apologize. I didn't know there was a report from the executive director during the committee meeting. I thought it was just during the regular board meeting, but I can insert that in very easily.
I may be thinking of the regular board.
Okay.
I may-
All right. But if we need to, if the committee decides that they would like to have a report from the executive during the committee meeting of something, we can add that to the agenda.
Any changes, I may have.
Okay. All right, Mr. Chairman?
Next item, please.
Vessel and security report.
Mr. Donald Dirk, please present.
Yes, good morning and Happy New Year to y'all. We've had a lot of good things go on the boat side recently. We've been doing this for a number of years, spraying water for the Orange Festival both days. The kids and the folks out there like it. We send a vessel down that way, testing our equipment, spray water, lights, sirens, and they come out and enjoy that. In addition to that, we also last month brought PPG personnel out to Port Ease to do their maintenance and PM type stuff that they need to go out there for the end of the year. That was a trip we made and brought 6 folks out there. In addition to that, in the latter part of last year, we didn't mention, all of my marine inspectors, the supervisors out in the field with the boat crews are now FSO trained. They also went to nuclear rad training, and we have nuclear rad devices that came through GOSEP that we have now on the boats to use if needed. We were a couple personnel short in the latter part of last year. We've done completed interviews. In the first part of this year, we came back Wednesday the 3rd, got right on that, interviewed the folks, and now it's in Civil Services' hands to complete the process, notify the applicants who we're looking to hire, and we're anxious to get them on board and be full staff again. We've been running a couple of folks short. In addition to that, in 2018, all boat personnel will be going to certified LSU training, firefighter training, with the PPG volunteers and paid firemen. That's offered throughout the parish every month at 3 locations. They offer it on the East Bank, they offer it in Buras, and at the Belchase Fire Station. So our guys will be going along training. It's a 3-hour training class once a month, which is geared towards a firefighter 1 and continued education for our guys. So I think that's a good thing as well. We're continuing to train with the Coast Guard. I'm not sure if y'all are aware, but we train weekly. We actually get a schedule from the HELO, the helicopter division of the Coast Guard, and the towing division, and we get a schedule. We're on their schedule. This has been going on for a number of years. We train with them day and night with the helos and training. So a lot of people aren't aware of that, but we do that all the time. It's to help the Coast Guard guys get certified. Of course, and with that, our guys are getting training as well. And we have a lot of the good training that we're going to be offering and need to do with new employees once they get past their probationary period. Water survival at Delgado, marine industrial firefighting for the guys. Other than that, we're full-staffed, operations are normal, and looking forward to 2018 is a good year. That's my report.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
This hunting season seems to be a very active mutual aid type responses. So have you guys been involved in any responses as it relates to distressed boaters or sunken vessels in the river?
We have not. If it's in the deep water areas where we can get to, we will assist the Coast Guard. Where, of course, one of our vessels is parked at the Coast Guard station. We assist, and actually, in some cases, have went out, and the Coast Guard hasn't because they've been overwhelmed. The smaller type mud boats and things of that nature out in the marsh, we haven't made any responses that I'm aware of with that. It really gets hectic in Venice. Because these guys are running around like bees, and it's foggy and it's bad weather. So we do more patrols and kind of monitor. It's supposed to be a slow bell in the jump area, but a lot of the sport guys don't adhere to that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of reports actually in the river itself with some capsized vessels, and I didn't know if you guys were involved with that to a certain degree, or if it was the sheriff's office or Coast Guard. But
It's a combination, Mr. Burke. It depends. We respond with Coast Guard and PPSO when needed. We're available. So when we get the call or get the information by way of 911 or PPSO or Coast Guard, we will go along with them. We've done that numerous times.
thank you. Just thought I would ask.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Lapine.
Donald,
Yes.
are we still facilitating, monitoring with the ferry system as we would before?
Good thing you brought that up. Yes, we are. It's a work in progress. Like I said, the Coast Guard has not signed off 100% on our proposed program. And that basically is the Port Authority employees monitoring the full 24 hours, along with PPG Ferry Department monitoring daytime as well, as a backup. There's some.
What are we waiting to be Coast Guard approved?
Yeah, to give you an example, Mr. Lapine, they pretty much they signed off as far as let's try it, come back and did a couple surprise inspections, actually yesterday, in fact, one, and we're getting a C or D, but that's on the bell chase side. Now the next thing they're going to do is go to Punt LaHash, and they want to see those cameras operating 100% of the time. Yesterday, we had one camera that was buffering that went out when they walked in the door. We reboot the system. We're working with our IT department to get that cleaned up. Unfortunately, that is a system that involves PPG, telecom folks, and us. Our system works together with the microwave systems and all that. So it wasn't a clean sweep, but we didn't fail. So we got another extension, and this will continue until they're happy. They're buying into what we're doing, but they're not sold.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, please.
Upcoming events?
Sure, Mr. Chairman, late this January, you yourself and Commissioner Roussel and Commissioner Lapine will be coming up with me in late January to meet with our congressional delegation, in particular Senator Cassidy, Senator Kennedy, representatives from MARAD, to discuss obviously the updates on port development, dredging, WERDA, also national flood insurance issues and where that's headed in Congress as well. And I think it's a great opportunity to update them on our developments and where we are. And so I'm excited to be with you guys on our first trip to D.C. to meet with our delegation and see how that goes. So it's going to be an exciting time. Also, the Mississippi Valley Trade and Transport Council Conference is in early February. So if you would like to attend, we usually have a sponsorship at the copper level, and our staff attends. So we would love to invite all the commissioners to attend. It's at the Omni Royal in the French Quarter, and it's 2 days. It's a great conference to discuss with other port leaders, maritime leaders, obviously best practices, issues that are concerning the river, frankly, from Plaquemines all the way up as far as you can think of along the Mississippi River, and frankly, its tributaries. So that'd be a good time as well. And in March, we have purchased a table for the GNO Inc. annual luncheon. So if you're able to attend, please let us know. I think if everybody attends, we may have to get another table, but I think it would be great to show ourselves there and represent Plaquemines Port. As you may know, Commissioner Black and I serve on the Next Gen Council for GNO Inc. And so we're very proud to have that and represent Plaquemines Port in that way.
I just have one comment. Can you actually email out to all the board members, just to make sure everybody's kind of
Absolutely.
in sync on all these different events? What was the one you said it was at the Omni Royal? What is that one?
It's the Mississippi Valley Trade and Transport Council. They have a conference annually in New Orleans. I believe it's February 7th through the 9th, but I will email all the dates to you, and I'll send a calendar invite for all three. The two of them, the GNO Inc. annual luncheon and the MVTCC in February.
And just for clarification too, is, I know, and I think you'll talk about the MOU signings here shortly, but I did reach out to our council attorney as well as the port attorney to get clarification on any meeting violation laws, and with events like this, it is not in violation of any sunshine laws, with us being at luncheons or ribbon cutting ceremonies, et cetera. So I know there was some concerns about that, so they did clear that, and I'd like to extend that invite to the rest of the members as well. So,
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Salvat?
That was a concern of mine, because I think we had that issue to come up prior in regards to the council, and I think it was established through the Board of Ethics that it would not be a violation. So I think that every event should be automatically open up to all committee members. You know,
Absolutely.
in regards to that. So I just wanted to make that note.
Yep.
And I appreciate you looking into that.
Yeah, the only footnote I'll add to that is at these events, you know, you can't discuss specific parish business or port business, but if it's
But attendance is-
absolutely, it's not in violation, so, thank you. Next, please.
Briefing and discussion items, 6A, MOU signings.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, before the year was out, in December, early December, December 8th, we had an MOU signing with the Port of Memphis. The chairman of the Port of Memphis and the executive director, Mr. Johnny Moore and Mr. Randy Richardson, respectively, came down to New Orleans to visit with the executive director, deputy port director, and have a signing, which I know Mr. Burt, you attended, and also the chairman at the time, Mr. Black. And we were happy to have that ceremony in that it continues with the vision of the port to engage and develop relationships and friendships with other ports, becoming sister ports, with ports along the Mississippi River that we believe is going to be part of the vertical integrated system of Plaquemines Port. Also, this last Tuesday, we had an MOU signing with the Jefferson County Port Authority. Their chairman and executive director also came down, Mr. Derek Good and Neil Brightweiser, respectively. That was attended by Chairman Burt. It was held at the World Trade Center. Ms. Caitlin Kane, who's the president and CEO of the World Trade Center, attended, along with the executive director of the Port Associations of Louisiana, Mr. Gary Lagrange. And then we had the same signing, which essentially stated that if there's opportunities for us to work together with the vertical integrated system, we will take the opportunity to do so. Essentially a sister port agreement, that if there's opportunities to talk about best practices or provide information to one another that benefits all of us, we could do so. These are non-binding signings, but I think it's a great step for us in developing our port. We're having these relationships.
I'd just like to make one comment. I did attend both of those MOU signings, and outside of me, you know, welcoming those fellows and ladies to come down and meet with us, they were very excited, you know, as we were, to even be considered, you know, friends of Plaquemines, and just to be engaged in some of the things that we're doing down here. And then also, from my perspective, learning what other ports are doing. And so I just think it's great opportunities as we continue our networking adventures. These are great things and great times for the port. So, but one thing I would like to mention, though, and Paul, you and I have talked about this, is before these take place, just that way the full board can have an opportunity to be informed, whether it's, if we have to do through legislation, what have you. Again, we're only as strong as our whole board, and I want the whole board involved moving forward. But I appreciate the opportunity to meet with those folks, and it was a good learning experience for me. So thank you. Any comments from the table on that? I'm sorry, Ms. Audrey, you're on.
6B, support letters for proposal joint use Naval Air Station runway facilities.
Before the 2017 year was out, we put together essentially a binder of multiple support letters from elected officials, economic development organizations, including such as PABI, to bring up to Big Navy, as Sandy calls it, or the Pentagon, in support of the joint use of the Naval Air Station as allowing for commercial air cargo. I will go ahead and make sure at the next board meeting I provide all those, the booklet for everyone so you can see all the support letters. I can say we received a support letter from Representative Leopold, State Senator Hewitt, and many of our allies in the state legislature. So we're very happy for that. So it's just one more step in the process, making sure that we have that support as Navy looks into the capabilities of having this joint use at the Naval Air Station.
Next, please.
6C, communication protocols between port board and staff.
We've essentially been mentioning this the entire time that we've had this meeting today about when do we need to communicate information to the board. And so the new Chairman Burton and I have had some great conversations about developing a draft of what triggers of when information should be sent out, in really both ways, to the staff, to the board, et cetera, so that we can properly communicate and be on the same page. And so what we hope to do is, at the end of the day, put together some internal document that could be provided to the executive staff and to the board and that we all agree on, and essentially a working document that shows the triggers of what information and when should be provided to the board, and also information that maybe the board wants to provide to the staff, so that we can properly answer questions or deal with concerns in a timely manner. And so in my 8 months being here, I have noticed as well, just as the board has provided concerns of there's a disconnect at times with communication, and there's some gaps that we can fill. And so I think as we try to develop this inner working document and having communication protocols, it's going to benefit everyone long term. So, Mr. Chairman, if you want to comment.
Yeah, one of the first meetings I had with Paul and Sandy was that it was specific to communication, and I'm just as guilty. I fail to communicate very often, but I think as we grow and develop, and it then becomes a trust factor, and that's one thing that I really believe in is communicating. And I think as small as this pen, that may not be important to you is important to us, and vice versa. So I would encourage you guys to continue that draft of that communication protocol, and I'd like to share that with the board members when that's complete. But and I would also welcome that to the board as well, to feel free to communicate to you guys directly without having to get me involved. I mean, that's just the way I would like to see this thing operated. But you cannot over communicate is what I'm trying to say, and I welcome that, and thank you for listening and working towards that goal of mine. So
Thank you, sir.
board members.
Yeah, I can appreciate your comments, Mr. Byrd, and I think you have a clear understanding on what a chairman does in the role of a chairman, and you're the conduit. It's not you are not necessarily the board. I understand that the staff, port staff, would have a real difficult time trying to communicate with all four of us. So that's the purpose of a chairman being in place. But it's the responsibility of the chairman to make sure that he is effective in communicating the information that he's scanned to the committee members. And I'm pretty confident that you're going to be fair in your judgments and your position. I was unable to attend the MOU meeting, but I have confidence that when Mr. Byrd is there, that whatever goes down in that meeting, he's going to make sure the committee member is fully aware and fully abreast. So I'm good with that. That's the reason I supported this guy. So.
Thank you, Ms. Audrey. No, just like I said, and I've told these guys all that, look, this is not me being the chairman. I'm just a spokesman for the board. And then when you guys are successful, we're successful, and we're successful, you guys are successful. And that's why I'm a big advocate of the communication piece. And there's going to be some things we like, and there's going to be things that we don't like. And it's just the territory we live in today. But I'm a firm believer in that, and I believe I've developed the trust of this board, and I want to continue that through my duration as the port chairman. So thank you guys for working on that, and I look forward to the final draft, and I look forward to putting that out to the board. So thank you.
Approval of the minutes from the August 1st, 2017 meeting.
I'll offer and ask for a second.
No second.
Second by Ms. Councilmember Salvant. Machine is open. And the approval is granted 3-0. Mr. Bartholomew is absent. At this time, I will seek an offer for an adjournment. Offered by Mr. Lapine. I'll second. Machine is open for adjournment. And the adjournment is 3-0. Mr. Bartholomew is absent, and we adjourn at 11:28. Thank you all very much.
2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yeah. 11:30.
Hopefully they all go that way. Communicate before, everybody's on the same page, it's seamless. Thank you all very much for,
What is your last name again? D-U-R-R. Yes, sir.